In early March this year, China and the Maldives signed a 36-year military agreement, which covers China's free military assistance to the Maldives. This agreement has attracted widespread attention throughout Asia, and some Western media have even speculated that China will implement the so-called First Island Chain strategy in the Indian Ocean region. Maybe you are wondering what exactly is the First Island Chain. The term comes from the Cold War, when the United States adopted a strategy to surround China in a series of key islands and waters in order to limit the expansion of China's influence in its surrounding areas. This formed the concept of the First Island Chain. So, is the military cooperation signed between China and the Maldives really building its First Island Chain strategy? If you like our video content, please click to subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can receive all our latest video content. Now let's get into today's topic. The Maldives, an archipelago country in the Indian Ocean, is world famous for its turquoise waters and beautiful coral reefs. But when we mention the military strength of the Maldives, it may be difficult to use the word powerful to describe it, because the Maldives Defense Force mainly consists of the Navy, Air Force, and National Guard. According to the latest data, their total military personnel is only about 5,000. Compared with the number of defense personnel in some major countries, this number is very small. In addition, the Maldives ships are mainly small patrol boats and speedboats, lacking the equipment of large warships. You can imagine that when faced with a large-scale military threat, these small ships do not even have the ability to resist. Their air force is mainly used for domestic transportation and rescue missions, and does not possess advanced fighters and bombers. In the past, the Maldives maintained close military cooperation with India. They often hold joint military exercises, exchange visits, and other activities, and India has also provided certain military assistance and technical support to the Maldives. However, after the new president Mohammed Muiz came to power, the Maldives began to gradually adjust its foreign policy. Not long ago, the Maldives even publicly announced that it would request India to evacuate 75 military personnel deployed in the Maldives. We all know that India has always regarded the Maldives as an important partner in the Indian Ocean region. They hope to consolidate their status and influence in the region by strengthening military cooperation with the Maldives. Therefore, India is obviously dissatisfied with the policy adjustments in the Maldives. What makes India even more angry is that on March 4th this year, China and the Maldives signed a high-profile agreement, whereby China will provide free military assistance to the Maldives. Although the specific content of the agreement has not yet been made public, the Indian media took advantage of the opportunity and claimed that the lack of transparency in this assistance may lead to the Maldives falling into a debt crisis and even damage the Maldives' autonomy. As far as I know, China has provided certain military assistance to the Maldives in the past, but it was not free assistance but charged a certain fee. These costs are relatively low and are carried out on the basis of friendly cooperation between both parties. Therefore, we are very curious, why is China suddenly willing to provide free military assistance? In fact, there are few unprovoked actions in international relations, and China's assistance must have its purpose and motivation. First, let's look at the geopolitical importance of the Indian Ocean. China imports a large amount of oil from the Middle East every year, and this oil needs to be transported back to the country through sea lanes in the Indian Ocean. Therefore, protecting maritime security in the Indian Ocean is crucial to China's energy supply and national security. By establishing close military cooperation with the Maldives, China can jointly combat piracy and terrorist organizations and ensure the safety of sea lanes. This will help reduce China's oil transportation costs and improve energy security. Secondly, India's ambitions in the Indian Ocean region are increasingly expanding, and it is trying to maintain its so-called Indian Ocean hegemony by expanding its influence. Such hegemonic behavior not only goes against the common desire for regional peace and stability, but also unreasonably interferes in the internal affairs of other countries. Therefore, China's provision of military assistance to the Maldives is not only to strengthen the friendly relations between the two countries, but also to send a clear and firm signal to India and other neighboring countries. China will resolutely safeguard its interests and security in the Indian Ocean region. In fact, with China's rapid development, the importance of Taiwan's return to China has become increasingly prominent, especially in the field of technology, TSMC, as the world's leading semiconductor manufacturing company, has an important position in the global market with its technologies and products. Taiwan's return will enable China to better integrate and utilize high-quality resources, such as TSMC, and promote the rapid development of the domestic technology industry. Some Western media and countries do not want to see China's rapid development. Out of self-interest considerations, they frequently conduct military activities in Taiwan in an attempt to interfere in China's internal affairs. In the future, once a conflict breaks out in Taiwan, the United States and other Western countries are likely to use their military presence in the Indian Ocean to suppress and blockade China. Therefore, by strengthening military cooperation with the Maldives, China can form an effective strategic deterrent in this maritime area and provide strong strategic support for the struggle in the Taiwan region. We all know that everything has two sides. China has gained benefits from this military agreement, but it has also brought some negative impacts. So where does it specifically manifest? Looking at the map, we can find that India's neighboring countries are Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Maldives, and Pakistan. But in recent years, China has established increasingly friendly relations with these countries and invested in their ports. These ports include Hambantota Port, Gwadar Port, and Zhaopiao Port. Their construction and operation not only enhance China's maritime trade capabilities, but also provide a strategic basis for China's military operations in the Indian Ocean region. Now, China and the Maldives have signed a military assistance agreement, which will undoubtedly further strengthen the friendly cooperation in this region. From a geographical perspective, these cooperation initiatives can be said to be a headache for India. After all, the cooperation between these countries and China is forming a cooperation chain and surrounds India at the center. This situation is somewhat similar to the first island chain created by the United States back then. This is not good news for India, because as these countries continue to deepen their cooperation with China, India's space for activities in the Indian Ocean will be restricted as never before. As an important maritime channel in the world, the Indian Ocean is crucial to overseas trade of various countries. As a country that relies on overseas trade, the smoothness of India's commercial activities is directly related to the country's economic development. If India's merchant ships are restricted from sailing in the Indian Ocean, its economic development is bound to be severely hindered. According to an economics professor at Harvard University in the United States, India's economic growth in recent years has relied heavily on maritime trade, especially trade with the Middle East and East Asia. Once these trade routes are blocked or restricted, India's economic growth rate is bound to drop significantly.